am your brother, the pugilistic Che Black, and this is the Parry. We don't duck or pull no punches.
I am the co-host Bomani UFG, and the parry is fundamental to boxing. What's good?
You already know, man. Same fight, different round. Here we go. Joshua Wilder just coming off his fight, his knockout with HELENIUS. How you pronounce my man's name? I always
HELENIUS.
HELENIUS. That's right, HELENIUS.
He's a Nordic. He's a Nordic. You know, I mean, one of them Vikings.
It was definitely a HELENIUS knockout. I'll tell you that much. As far as the fight goes, though, yeah, he didn't. What do you think? How do you think Wilder looked? Was he impressive in his knockout of HELENIUS? Does he look like he's ready for Wilder? Because they're talking Wilder next.
Look, man. Well, let me just get to the fight before I even talk about him and Wilder. I wasn't that impressed. I thought with Derrick James, you know, it seemed like he was being a lot more patient. He don't look as aggressive as he used to. But it seemed like he was being a little bit more patient. In the beginning of the fight, he was using a lot more head movement than I'm used to seeing from him. That I did like. But I found him being a little bit apprehensive, and he was getting touched with that jab because he stopped a lot of the head movement that he was using, and his feet is very, very slow. So HELENIUS had his eye looking like Diddy old name, little puffy, busted his nose up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a good look. But he finally brought his feet with him through the right hand aggressively and shut my man power off. You know what I mean? It wasn't like how Wilder did it. Wilder shut my man lights out. What was it, like a few seconds into the first round, and it was all over.
Yeah. He seemed like he was struggling. He didn't really look comfortable in the fight, personally.
He was playing with Wilder's food, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Wilder got rid of my man. Like, I predicted Joshua to get rid of Son in like 3 rounds. It shouldn't have went no more than 3 rounds, man. Because, you know, HELENIUS fights with his chin up high, real tall. He's taller, a little taller than Joshua. He's like 6'7". And I thought that Joshua would get to him early, considering now he's working with Derrick James. He would learn how to apply that pressure, right? Nah. But he did his job though. He did his job. I can't be too mad. He did his job.
It's funny you speak on HELENIUS with the stand up, chin up, which is kind of the traditional European boxing style. But when you look at Joshua, though, he kind of seems like he has that same similar foundation with that European boxing style. You know, he doesn't really bend a lot. He's a straight, you know, he kind of has that straight up style, not so much as HELENIUS or even an old Lennox Lewis, but he definitely, before Emmanuel Stewart got to him and told him how to develop his jab. But you know, I don't know if Derrick James, if it's enough, if he has enough time to work with him to undo a lot of what he already is fundamentally, or I should say, which already a part of his foundation.
Well, what I got off the rip, you know what I mean, he was trying to be a little bit more elusive. His defense for maybe like the first 2 rounds, it seemed like he was trying to implement some things in his defense that I'm not used to seeing. He was, you know, moving his head a lot. But he's very robotic and he's very stiff. He's all muscular, man. My man came in there 250, ripped to shreds. You know what I'm saying? And he's not the most fluid. He don't have the most fluid of movements. But I did see a little bit of tweaks to his game, but he's still not bringing his feet with him when he delivers that right hand. He's kind of overextending. He was overextending a lot, and he was just missing, barely brushing HELENIUS's beard in most of the fight. But when he finally backed him up against the ropes and he stepped to him, bang, he shut the power off quick, fast. You know what I mean? But you know, I don't know if Derrick James can really add any more to his game to really make him any more of a better fighter. What I also noticed that his aggressiveness, he don't look as aggressive. He didn't look as aggressive as he normally. I like the aggressive Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? I like the Anthony Joshua I saw against Klitschko, or even in that first Dillian White fight. You know what I mean? Like when he smells blood, man, he going in like he in there trying to knock your head off. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to understand, man. After that knockout, you know he got a little gun shy. And that's what he's looking a little gun shy out there. That's what, I remember you was telling me during the fight, you texted me to say that he was looking timid in the fight. But from when I watched the replays, I seen gun shy. I seen, look, I know what it's like to go out there and get my head took off, and I'm not comfortable. I'm uncomfortable now with knowing what that feels like, knowing what could happen.
Well,
this happens to fighters.
Well. So after the fight, he hops out the ring, and he started high-fiving the people in the crowd. He took 2 sips of some Guinness Stout from out of Conor McGregor's cup. Pause. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he looked real excited to win that fight. I mean, you supposed to expect to win against HELENIUS. The way he was looking at that fight, he probably figured if I ain't knock this dude out, I was gonna lose because he was getting chipped up, man. His eye was looking crazy, his nose busted. You know what I mean? His jab didn't look as snappy.
So we know styles make fights, right?
Yeah.
We know styles makes fights. Both of them fought. Both of them. HELENIUS fought both Wilder, and he fought Joshua. From what you've seen going into the both fights, who wins this fight and why?
I think Deontay Wilder.
We're talking Wilder Joshua.
Yeah, I think Wilder puts his lights out, man. Shuts the power off in the first 3 rounds. Quick, fast, in a hurry for a couple reasons. Joshua's very slow-footed. Doesn't have very good upper body movement. He doesn't slip the jab very well. And Wilder sets you up with that jab, that 1-2, pop, pop. Once he hit you with that right hand, man, I don't care who you is. You could be a 300-something pound Tyson Fury, who, by the grace of his Vikings or his gypsy gods, got him up off the canvas. Most people ain't getting up from that. And I don't think Anthony Joshua is going to wake up from that. He's taking the dirt now.
He got up from the steel hammer.
Listen, we talking Deontay Wilder, who we having do season on the canvas, man.
I'm just saying, in all fairness, Joshua, he's not a mutt.
No.
The man is not a mutt. We've seen him up, down, get back up, and close the show.
Look.
Although I haven't seen him that impressive since then, though. I have not seen him that impressive since.
What I will say about Joshua, man, is that he's a dog. Like you said, he ain't no mutt, man. You know what I'm saying? He gonna fight. And if you knock him down, he could get up. I believe he gonna get up, man. Even though, the Andy Ruiz, like he kind of looked like, when he stopped the fight, he kind of looked like, he ain't really want no more. But at the same time, he might have been concussed. Listen, man, Deontay Wilder's a little bit too quick, a little bit more athletic. I can say a little bit. He's a lot more athletic than Anthony Joshua. And that right hand of thunder, he's shutting his power off, man.
I see a knockout. I'm gonna run with the same prediction. I'm looking at a knockout within 3.
Standing on that?
I'm standing on that. I don't see Joshua. I mean, so here's the thing. Wilder has problems with boxers. He has problems with boxers who are quick, people who are awkward, people who like to move around a lot. I don't see Joshua posing any of the problems that he has that poses Wilder a problem. In fact, I see him right in front of Wilder, which would pretty much be tailor-made for Wilder's style of fighting. So I personally think, even with his size, I even think him being as big as he is an advantage for Wilder, personally, because it'll put him right in front of him where Wilder is the most effective with his 1-2 up the pipe.
But here's the thing about Wilder too. Yeah, word, pause. Here's the thing too about Wilder though. Wilder know how to set traps. See, Joshua doesn't really know how to set traps yet. Mm-hmm. No, remember, he's still kind of, as much as he accomplished in the game and in the sport, he's still kind of green in a lot of aspects of his fight game. Like, there's a lot that's why he went to Derek James, because there's a lot that he still haven't learned, like a lot of fundamentals. Some people could say the same thing about Wilder, but the thing about Wilder is he knows how to set traps. That's exactly what he did to HELENIUS. Mm-hmm. Backed him up, he let him come to him, and then bang, off with the power. Good night. So I could see him doing something similar to Joshua. Honestly, Joshua don't stand a chance. I just want to see the fight though. Finally, I wish we would have got the undisputed fight when he was talking about the 50 mil and they put the 50 mil in escrow for him, and he still ain't take the fight. But now he wants to fight when there's really nothing to lose. So, I think the winner of this fight probably end up fighting what's her name, Fury.
So then the question goes: then can either one of them beat Fury? We done seen Wilder in 3 fights with Fury. 3 fights. Whatever we want to believe, whatever we think, he had trouble in all 3 fights. All 3 fights was life or death. And in a couple of them, it was death.
It seemed like, now I'm gonna set aside my opinion of what I think Fury was doing in that ring. We're not even gonna discuss that. But it seemed like from fight to fight, Fury got more acclimated to Wilder's fight game, even though in every fight he got dropped. Every fight he done caught that right hand and woke up by the gypsy guys. But each ass whooping got worse for Wilder, man. And he will box circles around Joshua, in my opinion. So who stand a better chance? Because Wilder got that right hand, that Alabama slammer. You know what I'm saying? He hitting people like my man with the folding chairs in Alabama, yo, with that shit. You know what I mean? Because he got that Alabama slammer. I feel like it's always a chance for him to beat Fury, man. But it's all about what Fury getting into the ring. Do we get Fury with the loaded gloves? Oh, I mean, I said that. I shouldn't have said that. Are we gonna get cheating Fury? Or are we gonna get Fury coming in there, keeping it, you know what I'm saying, even Steven? You know what I mean? And I think I think in the next fight, man, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't even know if I want to see it. But if he earned the shot, he want to become 2 times undisputed. I mean, excuse me, 2 times heavyweight champ. I would like to see it, man. But maybe he should go after Usyk, man. Maybe he should go after Usyk, man. Maybe Wilder should, after he beat Joshua, go after Usyk, man.
I think that might be a good move. I don't really see the boxing world interested in Wilder fighting Fury in a 4th fight, personally. At least not right now. Maybe with a sensational knockout of Joshua, but other than that, we've seen it 3 times. I don't think the public would be expecting much more. And if he does win, then where do we go from there? You know what I'm saying? Rematch. Yeah. You know what I mean? It'd be a World Series damn near. You know what I'm saying? But moving along, other boxing news. Other boxing news. We have oh man. We got Steve Espinoza of Showtime claiming that there will be no rematch this year, possibly late next year, or sometimes maybe even early next year. However, he has stated that there will be no rematch, and basically his reason being is that he feels like after that ass whooping that Spence took, he needs some rest, which I believe he doesn't need to be in an immediate rematch. I believe that he needs at least 1 easy tune-up fight. I would take 2. I would take 1 easy tune-up fight and then fight a contender somewhere to get your confidence back, and also to show the world that you still got it, you know, and convince the people that you have a chance in winning this rematch. You know, create some excitement and some drama for the rematch. Because going into it directly, I don't see the people expecting any other outcome, especially being that that first fight is so fresh off of people's mind, and it was such a dominating performance. But with that said, he's saying that there is no fight happening this year, and that he's looking to match Crawford with Thurman. I see I was frozen right there. But he said he's looking to match Crawford with Thurman, with that said.
Well, let's keep it a bean, man. Nobody, I mean, I ain't gonna say nobody, but almost nobody wants to see Spence Crawford again, bro. That story's behind us, man. I think my man made it clear. He put an exclamation point on that ass whooping about who's the better fighter, man. And all respect to Errol Spence, man. But you need some milk, bro. You need to go ahead and sit down, go on vacation with your family, recalibrate, you know, get all your faculties together. You know what I'm saying? Make sure your teeth and everything is straight. You know what I'm saying? Handle your business before you even think about getting the ring back in the ring with Bud, man. I don't even see the need. No, who's gonna buy it?
And that's really what it boils down to. Who's gonna be interested in that fight? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to be interested in that fight with the dominant performance that we just had? Now, as far as Thurman's Crawford goes, how does that fight look?
I think that fight is probably more competitive than Spence Crawford. Thurman, look, before, like, remember when I saw an interview with Crawford before he before he really set his foot in 147. He was talking about him, Spence. They're like, yeah, Spence is the man to beat, and he was like, nah, it's Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, the man at 147,
I remember
right?
that.
And that's because, I mean, if you think about it, man, he only got beat by Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest fighters to ever do it. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say Thurman at that time was the man to beat. At that time, I think that things changed. I do believe that within that time period, Spence was able to surpass Thurman. It was
of course.
You know, adding the loss to Pacquiao and the wins over Garcia, even though he was completely out of his class as far as weight. Like, he definitely was stepping up too big. But you had between the Garcia fight, which I expected to be way more competitive, the Brook fight, and then the Porter fight.
Right. Well, Thurman had like 3 fights in 6 years. The inactivity. Remember when after he lost, was it I think after he lost to Manny, then your man going like went on a sabbatical or something. He was up in the mountains in Nepal somewhere playing flutes.
Yeah, he was doing something, growing his beard out, doing something.
Yeah, man. Your man was up there eating mushrooms, you know what I'm saying? Probably chilling with Aaron Rodgers or something, man. He was out there bugging.
Man. Yeah, he was getting on that ayahuasca.
Yeah, he was getting his meditation on up there. He was married a woman from Nepal.
He had to get his mind right. You know, that was a vicious, even though he was in that fight and even though he fought to the end. Like, he made
it a good fight. It was close, even with the knockdown. It was a split decision.
He didn't duck tail in that fight. He didn't, you know, he's not a mutt either. I'm not gonna front on Thurman. He's not a mutt.
Nah. You know? He was my favorite at 147 till Bud got there.
But he should have done better. He should have. Jeff Horn gave Pacquiao a better fight, whether you think he won or not.
What Thurman should have did, honestly, was go ahead and fight Errol Spence when it was time to fight him.
Yeah,
then he could have really cemented his legacy and his place in the division. He was the unified champ.
Does Thurman have a chance
against Crawford? Yeah, he got a chance.
I mean, anybody with 2 gloves and a heartbeat has a chance in a sense. But, like,
do I think he's going to win?
No, not so much do you think, but realistically, we're looking at percentages. Does he have a chance? Is it possible that we could see an upset? Does he have the tools, put it in that way? Does he have the size? Does he have the power? Does he have the ability? I mean, he has that weird, jerky kind of style. You know, he got that weird. His style is kind of weird to me.
He knows how to box. He's got really good foot movement. But
he knows how to box from the outside and come in and out. He knows how to get in and out on people.
Right. He's not really an inside fighter, which Bud definitely is.
Bud is complete though.
He's a complete fighter.
Because Bud inside, outside, upside, all around. You know what I mean?
Now Bud is the truth. Anywhere you put him in the ring. Keith Thurman got excellent foot movement. He's elusive. He got a nice jab. He got some pop. He would have to stay in his element against Bud, man, because, you know, but I honestly, we know he's weak. I ain't gonna say weak to the body, because to me, you're only weak to the body if you don't get up. But we know the body shots. We saw him in a couple fights, even I think against Danny Garcia. He caught one to the, you know, he started doing his dance. Doing his dance because he don't like them shots to the body. So Kroger could probably stop him. You know what I'm saying? I think if anybody could stop Keith Thurman, even though Manny Pacquiao couldn't, if anybody could stop Keith Thurman, it'd be Bud. But I think at this point, because he's been inactive for so long, he shouldn't jump right into that fight. So,
and that's how I feel. I feel like his inactivity, and not so much for him as a fighter jumping into this fight, but more so for the the audience and the worth of the fight. Like I feel like he hasn't showcased greatness. It's been a while since we've seen him excellent for us to really be excited about him fighting Crawford and even believing that he's a threat. Right now, the public is going off of the ass whooping they just seen Errol Spence take, and they haven't really seen Thurman look impressive in quite some time. And then the biggest fight he was in recent time was when he fought Pacquiao. So going off of that, it's like he doesn't really have any type of luster around his name to really seem like a good threat, even though in all reality, he's probably the best fight out there for Crawford to take coming after this fight.
I was just about to say that.
He just hasn't done anything to really make himself, to put his name in the hat and say, yo, I'm that dude in this division too, or I should be considered it as well. Like I haven't seen that.
All right, well let's look at the landscape of like what's out there for Bud at this point, right? We heard him say publicly he will give Errol Spence the rematch, but Espinoza ain't with it. Which honestly, it don't make no sense, and it's probably not the same money in that fight. So let's just keep it
absolutely not the same money, and that's really why Espinoza is saying that. Don't think he's worried about this brother's
He ain't worried
health.
about Spence. Yeah,
He's not worried about
Spence.
him needing rest. He's thinking, look, man, we're not gonna make no money off of this. Maybe next year we get, but go ahead though.
So what's the next? Okay, so what's actually the biggest fight out there outside of, let's say, Canelo, Charlo, because they are caught up fighting each other right now? He said, yo, I'll wait at 147 for Tank. If Tank want to jump up here and dare to be great, we could do it. He said, my chin is made of glass. Let's see him come touch this chin, right? Now, that's a big money fight. That's $1 million plus pay-per-views, hands down. Probably his biggest fight of his career. But I don't think Leonard Ellaby and him is that stupid.
That's the biggest fight in the past 5 years. That's the biggest fight in boxing since when Floyd came back to fight the MMA guy.
Right, but it ain't happening. It ain't happening. So what fight actually makes sense right now?
To say that it ain't happening after mentioning that that's possibly the biggest fight outside.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening, bro. It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
Money has a way of making things happen.
Well, here's the thing.
They didn't think De La Hoya was going to take the fight with Pacquiao.
Tank got so much on the table for him. It's way more other fights out there that's less dangerous for him, right? He still got Shakur. He got Devin out there.
Money. High risk, high reward. High risk, high reward.
Tank check is going to be Tank check regardless of who he fights. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, he probably going to get more.
It's going to be his check is going to be his, like he's going to get his quota. He's going to get what he wants. I mean, what he's asking, his asking price. However, he's going to triple that, maybe even quadruple that fighting Bud.
He's going to make 30 million plus fighting Bud. Easy. No question about it. But it ain't happening. It ain't going to happen yet. And I don't blame him.
Well, if it doesn't happen now, there's a big chance that it won't happen. Because
if it ain't happening.
Going off of what Crawford is saying and from what I'm feeling, Crawford beats Charlo if Charlo beats Canelo, even if he doesn't beat Canelo and comes back down. But that fight even loses its luster. But
now
he beats Charlo and retires.
Which it leaves the only fight that makes sense, because so who do Bud got left, considering Tank ain't gonna fight him?
Only thing he'll do is maybe give Spencer's rematch, because that's
Canelo, Charlo are occupied. Spence don't make sense right now. You got Keith Thurman and you got Boots Ennis. Those are only two fights that make sense. Now, which one make the most sense out the two? It's more money than Keith Thurman
don't
fight.
Make enough sense.
It don't make enough dollars. So you're gonna have to go ahead and fight Keith Thurman. I think Keith Thurman might be next up, man.
But
maybe even at 154.
Here's the thing with Boots. He can put himself in that. He can put himself in that hat. He's just literally one sensational win away from a top, not top tier, but at least a top contender. If he can beat a top contender in a sensational fashion, he puts himself in that fight. If I was Boots, I wouldn't target Crawford. I would target whoever I need to target that'll get me that fight.
Well, here's the thing about Boots, and I think Boots is a great fighter. I think he's next up at 147 once Crawford is out of here, right? But here's the reality, man. He hasn't even beaten a former world champion yet. He ain't even been in the ring with a former world champion yet. You know what I'm saying? Get in there with somebody that at least had a strap.
But what I'm trying to say is this: in the way, because we're in the microwave age right now, right? And in the way fans pay to see fights, and we're talking the casual, not the diehards. You know, the way they pay to see fights. Enos really is about a year or two away from a big fight of that caliber. If you go off of how fighters used to get developed and brought up. However, right now, he's one fight, maybe two. He beats a former world beater. He beats a former world champion. He's in that, and he does it sensational. Well, see, the key is not beating them. The key is not just beating them, though. The key is if he can demolish them, if he can destroy them, beat them in the fashion he's been, keep up with the way he's been keeping up, and show that this is not just because I'm gonna make all of you guys look like that. Like if he can show that type of aggression and if he can win in that type of fashion in his next fight, he can be in that in the talks of that then it'll make sense.
But let's keep it a beam. Let's keep it a beam right now, G.
As we always keep it.
We always keep it a beam. Who is out there really for my man Boots to fight, right? Because everyone cleaned up the division already, right? Everybody that was somebody is either inactive or they moving up. Danny Garcia going to 154 if he ever fights again. Who he got? He got Ugas maybe and Jeff Horn. And I think Jeff Horn. I think Jeff Horn might have moved up.
Jeff Horn is the first person that came to my mind. He knocks out someone like a Jeff Horn. He comes and demolishes someone like a Jeff Horn or even a Ugas. Because everyone else has pretty much retired and moved on. And if he has to move up, then he has to move up.
They already digested food already.
But if he can make it look good, if he can say, look what I did to these guys, though, I'm in the same class as you. There were fighters. This reminds me of the 90s welterweight division, right? When you have fighters like Obakar, fighters like that who you had to beat those fighters. You know what I mean? Like those fighters only lost. Obakar probably only lost to Trinidad, Corte, and De La Hoya. You know what I'm saying? But there were fighters who they were right there and all who beat them the best. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we just gotta. You might have to go after the digestive food just to show I'm in the same league as you.
I would like to see him in the ring with somebody like a Danny Garcia. They both Philly fighters. You know what I mean? Danny Garcia, every fight that he lost in the division was close. I was there. I was at the Sean Porter. Danny
it's
Garcia
funny
fight.
because even the fights that he won is the same argument. You know what I'm saying? Like he's always in a close fight. Danny Garcia is always life or death. Danny Garcia has rarely ever gave us a dominating performance. Maybe when he fought Matisse years ago, that might have been his most dominant. That might have been Matisse. That might have been his most dominating performance I've seen to date.
Man, I don't know what's out there for Boots, man. I feel like he's gonna have to just wait his turn, wait for them belts to get spread out, and he's gonna have to
Boots has two options, and it looks like he's going with the latter of what I'm gonna say. But he either goes up to 154, or he just sticks around and waits for everybody to leave to claim that division for himself.
That's what it seemed like. I think he's gonna do that,
and that's what it looks like he's probably gonna do.
That's what I think. Yeah. I mean, that's all that's left for him, man. Because honestly, the Crawford fight don't make no sense. Not that I wouldn't want to see it.
Right.
As a hardcore. Not that I wouldn't want to see it. But Crawford don't need to fight you right now, though. He don't. There's no money in that fight.
Right. It's one of the fights that it almost reminds me of when Lennox Lewis fought Michael Grant. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Michael Grant, it's like these guys, they come out and they have these impressive resumes, but they hadn't really beat nobody. And Michael Grant, I said almost because he had a little bit better tier competition.
He was a touted prospect. He was somebody that people thought was going to be somebody.
Exactly. Now he didn't have it. So to say that they moved him along too fast, he actually didn't even have it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know why I'm laughing, but it's true. Michael, yo, man, you just took me back, man. Think about Michael Grant, man, because I
Yeah.
really thought he was gonna
A
be
lot of
somebody until
people
he
really
wasn't.
thought he came out there looking all big and hulking and was 6'7", called his right hand a fastball and threw it like a fastball. He looked
He looked the part.
imposing.
Yeah,
But
he looked the
when he
part, but
got
he
in
wasn't
there,
there.
marshmallow, straight Twinkie feeling. You know what I'm
Peace.
saying?
Yo, peace to
So,
Wise and Dome TV, man.
you
Peace,
know what I'm
family. Yo,
saying?
everybody that said, yo, first of all, let's get a shout out to everybody that's in the chat, man. Shout out my brother Robert Taylor who came through, my man Zulu Black. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man Born. Shout out to my cousin, yo, Jimmy. What up, Jay? What's good? You know what I'm saying? Everybody that checked in with us, man. If you still with us, man, put your city in the chat, man. Peace to Wise and Dome TV, my man Raheem Shabazz. Peace to the God. Word.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, as we were saying, or as you were saying,
Yeah, man. I think what makes the most sense is Bud. What's her name right now? Thurman. That makes the most sense right now. Might as
but
well, man.
Bud Thurman makes the most sense, most likely right now is for a fight for December. If we're talking a fight for December, keep him active. You know, it'll do some numbers. It won't be big, but it'll do some numbers. It'll set up a big fight for the next fight.
That fight makes more sense for Bud than it do for Thurman. Let's keep it a bean because, I mean, if you trying to get back on the winning track, Thurman, you trying to get your name buzzing.
But Thurman believes in himself. I mean, if you believe in yourself, it's like I'm
man,
sure
your man been
Thurman.
sent home eating. He been sent home eating chickpeas, man.
I'm sure Thurman believes in his mind though that he can go in there and handle this guy. It's gonna take him getting in the ring and realizing, oh shit, I can't fuck with this dude.
But he needs a check.
I believe that in the back of his mind, because these, like, all right, boxers don't have the I want to duck somebody mentality. That's the business part. The business part is why we don't see fights happen. Fighters will fight each other for the most part. For the most part, it's real rare a fighter is actually scared of another fighter. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, I can't really say it makes the most sense for Crawford than it does for Thurman. Because Thurman is gonna get paid more than he's ever got paid. And he has the chance to be the undisputed welterweight champion. He has the chance to knock off the number one guy in the ring. Thurman been playing the flute for 3 years.
Like you asked, do we got a chance? Yeah, he got a chance. He got a chance. That's about all he got. There's a chance. He got a shot.
He has a puncher's chance.
He got a puncher's chance. And I like Keith Thurman. Don't get it confused.
I used to like Keith Thurman.
Hopefully one day
I used to like Keith Thurman. You know, I respect him. It's like I respect anybody who steps in that ring. But as far as like the guy, the way he was talking before the Pacquiao fight, I just knew he was going to get his ass whooped. Just the way, like, I never seen him talking that goofy and ridiculous and that much. I'm going to call him the dinosaur because he throws his hands like that. You got your ass whooped by the dinosaur, fam.
Nah, that was a good fight. I wouldn't say he lost. He got dropped. So, yeah, but I want to say it was a close fight.
He got his ass whooped. That's what I mean, yeah, he didn't get spenced.
Nah, he
didn't catch an Earl Spence style. You feel me? A back alley street mug. You know what I mean? He didn't get mugged in a back alley like Spence.
Yo, don't disrespect the Spence. Yo, man, I like shout out Errol Spence.
We love Errol Spence at the Parry.
We love Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? We love Errol Spence, man. Look, we trying to get interviews out here. We trying to get our name on the map. So let's not.
He's one of the greatest of this era. But that
second greatest.
I said one of the greatest of this era.
I'm clarifying. To me, he's the second greatest.
I mean, let's be real. Errol Spence has the chance to come. See, it's just he has to go back through Crawford to get back in. But he has the chance to make his name. Like, he has the chance to do what he's been doing. He goes out there and whoops some ass like he's been doing. He could be right back up in there.
We got to see. Listen, he's gonna have to move up to 154 and make a whole new name and resume for himself. Now, if he do what he did at 154, what he did at 147, yo, you're gonna have to give that man his ultimate respect. I mean, he got my respect already. I'm just saying, he go up to 154, clean out that division too, after Bud leave, of course.
I mean, of course, after Bud leave. Bud has said, though, but for Bud, he has said out of his own mouth, the fight that he wants more than anything is Charlo. That's the fight he wants. He wants Charlo. He said that's his legacy fight.
But it's a couple.
And he can leave after that.
There's a couple. Now he wants undisputed at 154. Once the bell rings, Charlo Canelo. Once the bell rings, that WBO strap gets snatched from him and goes to Tim Tszyu. So once he comes back down to 154, he got the fight with Tim Tszyu before Crawford.
You don't have
if
to.
If I was Crawford, I go to 154, smack up Tim Tszyu after he get that strap, and make Charlo come to me. If it could happen that way, you know, he's already in. He in good with the WBO anyway.
Money wise, money play, yeah. You know, just get that fight in between. Yeah, it makes sense.
That makes sense.
The fight Tszyu, get Tszyu out the way.
Yo, let's move on to the last topic, man. Before I gotta raise up out of here, dog. You know what I mean? Is Shakur Stevenson pricing himself out, dog?
Let's
go with your man from Jersey. I'll let you lead this guy. This your man. Now I love Shakur. Don't get it twisted. I'm a Devin Haney fan. I'm putting that on the record.
Shakur Stevenson is a special
Devin
fighter.
Haney's my guy.
Shakur Stevenson is a special fighter. I said this last year. I said that it's Bud Crawford and it's Shakur Stevenson. I said this last year. I'm saying this year. It's Bud Crawford and it's Shakur Stevenson. These fighters are special. They're special. Understand what I'm saying? They're special. Now, with that said, you know, Shakur Stevenson recently they offered his camp offered a fight with Tank Davis. They offered a fight with Devin Haney, and they offered a fight with Tank Davis. They also offered a fight with Lomachenko. However, Lomachenko opted to retire. Now, from what they offered Lomachenko, it didn't make sense for Lomachenko not to take it. Except I want to retire without getting my ass whooped like this. They know each other. He's been in the ring with this guy. He doesn't want to do this. Now, not in front of the world. He doesn't want to go out there and get embarrassed in front of the world like that. Not to end his career. Now, with Tank, absolutely pricing himself out of the fight. But why would you put yourself in this fight right now? The numbers that he's asking for will be very realistic in another year or two. In another year or two, the numbers that he's asking for are very realistic.
Yo, can I be honest?
In that fight, in those fights, period, have a chance to be record-breaking numbers. Like, we're talking about record-breaking number fights in the next year or two. If these two fighters develop further along and continue to win. If these fighters continue to win in the fashion that they've been winning at, we're looking at probably the biggest non-heavyweight fight of all time.
Look, man, here's my honest
opinion. One of them.
And I love Shakur Stevenson, man, but your man is straight up Steve Rogers out here, man. He capping. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, you not willing to take the risk to be great, man. You talking about what? Look, he should have stayed with Andre Ward, man, as management, yo. I think Jay Prince and the whole rap a lot. Jay Prince and Jay Prince Jr., I think his name is. They out here. They don't know the business like that, dog. They got my man out here asking for money he don't even deserve at this point.
He don't need to be with Jay Prince.
Nah.
He should go somewhere else.
Nah, man. He out here asking for paper he don't even deserve. That's crazy.
From my opinion, from what I see, Jay Prince isn't the right move. However, man, look. What he's asking for, like I said, in another year or two is still possible. You don't agree? You don't see that?
Who? If he keeps listen, who should go and fight to put himself on the map like that?
Anybody, any of the top contenders. Any of the top contenders. Just continue to win. Just continue to win in the fashion he's been winning in. That's key. Continue to win.
He's gonna be fighting at the.
Continue to capture the imagination of the people. Continue to capture the imagination of the people, because that's what brings money in the seats. Now I know what you're saying. You're saying that he's supposed to go the more traditional route. He's
Take the risk, man.
He's supposed to take the risk.
You think you could beat 10? Take what they offer and go whoop his ass and put yourself on the map, dog. Tank earned his spot. Devin earned his spot. You ain't earned your spot. And you asking for 50% from the chat? That's crazy.
Nah, it is crazy. I'm not even acting like it's not. It is crazy. It's definitely crazy. But I don't think he's being realistic asking for that. I don't think he really believes that Tank Davis is going to give him a 50% purse split. I don't think he really, he knows there's not going to be no purse parity fighting Tank Davis right now.
Calvin Ford said straight up, Tank ain't taking a pay cut, man. That's it.
He's not taking a pay cut.
Yes. Look, Watch Dome TV asked, didn't Haney take less money to go to Australia? Absolutely. Twice.
He did what he felt he needed to do. Devin Haney, that was Devin Haney only way though. Devin Haney's wasn't a star.
Neither is Shakur. Shakur's not a star yet.
Shakur has star quality. Let's not act like
Shakur has star quality. All these young fighters got some type of star quality about him, man. Who Ryan Garcia?
Ryan Garcia has star quality. That's why that fight was so big. It wasn't because he was so good. It was because he had star quality. That fight was as big as it was, not based off of his merit or his accomplishments in the ring.
He never even won a
example. Perfect example. And Shakur is looking at shit like that. He's looking at shit like this. He's looking at shit that he's seen Mayweather say. This is the fight business. So as far as what he's asking for, he's trying to rape as much as he can get. He ain't forget about what they did to the Cold Crush.
Listen, man, he overcharging for what they did to the Cold Crush.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Nah, man.
So is he overpricing himself? Ultimately, yes. But I don't think he's being realistic. I don't think realistically he looks at these fights as coming off right away. My problem right now with Shakur, though, I do have a problem with Shakur. My problem right now is Shakur needs to just be back in the ring, period. He needs to, all this arguing and going back and forth on Twitter with these guys, dead all of that. Get back in the ring. We need to see him in the ring again. These fighters need to continue to make their statements in the ring. And that's what we're having these problems. These fighters are making too many statements via Twitter, via Instagram, whatever.
Go ahead and fight Navarrete and shit. You know what I'm saying? Who made Oscar Valdez turn into Mom Spaghetti?
I don't know nothing about Mom Spaghetti. I don't know anything. My mom's spaghetti is delicious.
Yo,
she makes the spaghetti. My mom makes the spaghetti.
You watching this live or you watch this later? Put in the comments section, is Mom Spaghetti a whack ass terminology for getting your face beat up, man? Shay don't like it, you know what I'm saying? Because he don't like the M reference. I don't care, fam. You know what I'm saying? I get that off my man Thurman, who made Spence face look like Mom Spaghetti, knees weak, his arms was heavy, fam. You know what I'm saying? Snap back to reality, dog.
I don't know nothing about Mom Spaghetti. I don't even know.
My mom made spaghetti, man. You know what I'm saying? I had some red snapper with some okra. You know what I'm saying? Rice and peas and
my mom made spaghetti. It was soul food spaghetti, though. You know what I'm saying? it was righteous spaghetti. You heard?
Man, I gotta raise up out of here, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in to another episode of the Parry Man Up Mondays. Y'all can stay tuned and look for us on Mondays and Fridays and sometimes even Sundays, depending on how big the fight is. Yo, next up, we got to talk. You got the press conference for Canelo Charlo tomorrow, man. We may have to jump on here real quick to get some afterthoughts about that press conference after that, man. I'm down to do it, man. Maybe the people want to see that.
So, yeah, we probably end up going live to discuss the press conference coming up. This is the first press conference to start off the press tour which is probably, it's been a big year for boxing. This will probably be financially the second biggest fight of the year.
This might be the first, man.
Possibly.
You got two undisputed champions going at it.
Well, more so, you got Canelo going up against an undisputed champ. Let's just be honest.
Canelo undisputed right now, 168.
But what I'm saying is this: Canelo is the name.
Facts.
And what
don't matter what belt he had on.
Exactly, and the fact that he is fighting an undisputed champion. This
who's
is
moving up 2 weight classes. He stayed making cats move up, you know what I'm saying, weight classes to fight him, dog. That he loves his advantages, man.
He wants his
My man
advantage,
sentiment.
man. He wants his advantage, man. But I mean, this is what fighters do. They fighting in weight classes they shouldn't be in the first place half the time. I mean,
Well,
let's be honest. Errol Spence looks like he should probably be a middleweight.
remember, well, he debuted at 154. A lot of people don't know that. I don't remember that.
Indeed, no, I do remember that.
His first fight was at 154.
So
not
why do you want to
147.
go down and beat up on 147 pounders?
Yo, that's just the way. That's just the way to fight. Everybody,
De La
you know, that's
Hoya
what
was
fighters
down
do,
at like
man.
De La Hoya was fighting like 135 pounds, knowing damn well he was walking around at 150.
My
You know what I'm
man,
saying?
my man got the implanted abs now, man. You can't tell him nothing.
This is what these fighters do, though.
Nah, fact.
You know, this is what they do. They look for every advantage they get. But
yo, man,
make sure you stay tuned in. And once again, I'm your brother, the pugilistic Che Black.
I'm your brother Bomani UFG, and this is the parry. We don't pull or duck no punches, and the parry is fundamental to boxing. Let's go. Peace.